On Tuesday, 17th of June 1980, Maria James was murdered inside her residence on High Street, Thornbury, which also operated as a second-hand bookstore. Despite a significant police investigation over the past 4 decades, including repeated public appeals for information, the case remains unsolved. The coronial inquest was conducted in 1982, with a further inquest conducted in 2021. However, both returned open findings. The investigation remains open and the criminal investigation remains active and ongoing, in the hope that answers can one day be given to Maria's family about who was responsible and why. In 1980, Maria was a single mother and lived with her 2 sons at their residence and bookstore at 736 High Street, Thornbury. By all accounts, Maria was a well-liked and respected member of her local community who kept a close-knit circle of friends and was totally devoted to her 2 boys. On the morning of her death on 17 June 1980, Maria was seen by a number of people in and around her premises at High Street. About 11:55am, Maria called her ex-husband John James and asked to be called back. She didn't say why she wanted to speak to John, however she mentioned that someone was in the shop. Soon after, John returned Maria's call, and after answering, she asked John to hold on and could then be heard in conversation with an unknown person or people. Although John could not clearly understand this conversation, it was apparent to him that something was wrong. When Maria failed to return to the phone call, he immediately travelled to the High Street address to check on her welfare. When John arrived at the property soon after midday, he found it secured, with both the front and back doors being locked. Strangely, the open sign of the shop was still displayed, and it appeared to John and other witnesses that someone may have been inside the premises at the time. In desperation, John forced his way into the premises and upon doing so, made the shocking discovery that Maria had been killed inside her bedroom. Maria had been stabbed a significant number of times, as well as sustaining injuries to her head and face, and her hands were bound with twine. Soon after this discovery, the front door of Maria's shop was found to be unlocked, suggesting that someone other than John had been inside the shop and had possibly fled out the front door onto High Street. 2 separate eyewitnesses described a male running away from the direction of the crime scene soon after Maria had been located, and police are still seeking information about the identity of this person and the reason for their behaviour. It's unknown whether Maria was specifically targeted that day or fell victim to someone with little or no connection to her. While many theories, motives and possible suspects have been and continue to be investigated, this case remains open to any new information. Police continue to appeal for any witnesses or anyone with information about who is responsible for Maria's death and why to come forward. If you or someone you know saw, heard or knows anything about Maria or the circumstances of her death, it is not too late to say something, and $1 million reward is now on offer. Information can be provided by calling Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 or submitting a confidential report via crimestoppers.com.au. Maria's family is still very much grieving her death, and investigators are still hopeful of being able to provide them with answers as to who killed Maria and why. However, we need your help.